Okay, it's Westshore Rebels preview time, and we bring on JC Boice, the head coach of the Westshore Rebels. Thanks for joining us from Victoria, JC.
Sun's always shining here. Thanks for having us, Jim.
Yeah, now there's a number of changes that have gone on with the Rebels in the offseason. First of all, as to your coaching personnel, you have a BCFC champion joining your ranks in Shane Beatty.
Very excited to have Shane. Very, very intense guy, knows the game deeply, is committed to the game deeply. His track record speaks for itself. He's been very, very productive. And, I never had the chance to work with him. We worked with a lot of the same guys in the U.S. He was down there coaching for 20-plus years in the NCAA. So was I. We had the opportunity to work together. And, we're very excited. He's been here for 4 months now, and he already had a huge impact on the program. We're very excited to have him.
I understand he's somewhere around the training facility there. Can he do a cameo for us?
You bet. We're here putting our new, brand new artificial field turf in our big training facility. Coach.
Hey Shane, you look better in red than you do in orange and brown and black, by the way.
Orange, big dog.
Tell me about the transition from Okanagan to coming out to the island and what it's meant to you.
It's been a smooth transition. These kids have been unbelievable. Last night we had 50 kids in the weight room. We've had consistently 37 to 38 kids out on the field each night, and to see that in March and April, now May, has been huge, and it's been nothing but welcoming from the program and the community.
You know what it's like to put a championship team together. In terms of resources and in terms of support that you had up in Okanagan, really sometimes they're second to none in the BCFC. Tell me about what's developing, though, in Victoria with Westshore, and are there similar signs that support is falling into line there?
Well, to be honest, we just had our scholarship dinner, and no, we didn't make the same amount of money that we did with the Sun, but it was huge. It was a huge start for this program, and JC did a phenomenal job. We had about 150 guests, and that is a step in the right direction. And plus, having this facility to attract kids here, we don't have to give out as much to the kids to get here for room and board per se. But JC and I together recruiting, we brought in some really, really good athletes.
Let's talk about facilities here before we get into athletes. You're in the middle of one right now. It's a big change for you guys. JC, tell me about the development of the new training facility that you have in Victoria.
Well, it's both what Shane and I do for a living. We train high-end athletes, professional. I've got NFL clients, CFL clients, as does Shane. And we went to the community and said, hey, we need some support. And a couple of business guys stepped up really big for us. They gave us a 21,000 square foot building, went out and bought 30,000 pounds of weight and everything you need to build an explosive moving athlete. Now we've got the entire thing is getting laid down with artificial turf. Here, we'll spin you around and show you. It's pretty cool. We've got tremendous facilities now to build, athletes that really want to create for themselves next level opportunities. A great program and a great facility to do it out of.
Well, and not only are you coaching a football team, but you're a great camera guy as well. Tell me about the genesis of this, though. Where did you get the support to put a facility like this together?
We asked for it, and this community wants to have a winner, and they gave it to us. We've made some pretty substantial financial investments of our own accord into it as well. This is a business that's outside of just for the Rebels. Like I say, we've got several U.S. clientele starting to come in now. Several of Shane's established clientele are starting to come in. Victoria is an amazing place. It's great for year-round recreation and year-round training. And, the U.S. clients, the U.S. dollar is really strong right now, so they can come up here very cost-effectively. Dexter Janke, who played for Shane at the Sun, third-round draft pick of the Stamps. He's been here all winter working out with us and brought in several guys. So, as a business model, it works, and certainly as an athlete development model for our Rebels, it works as well.
Do you guys feel that the culture is turning somewhat in favor of the game of football in Victoria? It's never been known as a big football community, but perhaps with the success of Mount Douglas all these years and Belmont now starting to come on, they have a player in the CFC top 10 out of the top 100, that there's a change on the South Island in terms of the way that folks there approach the game?
We're going to shock a lot of people in the BCFC. We have some tremendous athletes here, but not only that, we're building a team, we're building a family, and the culture has changed. It's changed within the last 4 months. JC's done a great job over the last 18 months. And I guarantee you one thing, we're going to put a different product on the field this year.
I think the gala was very representative of the fact that culture has changed. We had some big hitters that we're excited to see where the Rebels are going, and we promoted Mount Doug, Belmont, Spectrum, and the community programs here as well. We're definitely unifying football here on Victoria, and yeah, there's an upswing of registrations and kids wanting to get better and working at it.
Now, 2 years ago, the Rebels made a big push to recruit on the island only, but if you're going to get up to that next level, you've got to recruit outside of your region. What is your approach to recruiting, JC, and how much have you learned from the guy there beside you about recruiting from outside of the region?
Well, first of all, we are 100% committed to organically build players right here on the South Island. I mean, with this facility and with the coaching, I mean, Shane's an outstanding strength and conditioning coach. You give Shane a kid for 3 months, and that kid's going to see measurable difference in his movement, his strength, just his authentic confidence. So we are investing heavily in building our players right here. Having said that, both Shane and I can recruit. We jumped on a plane together and went Winnipeg, Edmonton, Alberta, and Calgary, and had some really good kids that bought into what we're building together, what this community is helping us build, facilitate. And yeah, we've kept the really, really good kids here. We've also got some cat daddies coming in too.
You wait till you see our O-line and D-line. I'm telling you, right?
JC, you work with quarterbacks a fair bit. Tell me about what it's like to work with an athlete like Ashton McKinnon.
I don't know. I got to get a stepladder to look him in the eye. He's 6'7". It's been an interesting process with Ashton. When he first came on initially, I wasn't real enthused with him. He wasn't real coachable. He'd been a dominant athlete most of his life. He got away with poor habits. And then we finally connected there about halfway through the season last year. And, you saw him put up some huge numbers. 2 times he was offensive, BFC player of the year. And then he got hurt. We lost him the rest of the season, unfortunately. We've also brought another kid in, a 2-year player from St. Mary's, Scott Borden. It's going to be really tough. And those two are really locked right now in a head-to-head battle. And we feel very confident both of them. Both of them are very gifted athletes. Very gifted athletes.
What's the receiving core and the running back situation like before we get to the lines?
Yeah, sure. It's going to be a receiver and running back by committee. We had a very young team last year, set a CJFL record of 42 first-year kids. Most of those kids came back. They've been in the weight room with Shane and Molly and our staff. We've also got a few kids out of Calgary and one out of Winnipeg we're pretty excited about. We are switching up the offense this year. We're not going to be any 2-back. We're definitely going to be even more committed to throwing the ball this year and create some running lanes then. But we're pretty tough. Jordan Worth, who was a good athlete for us last year, is back. We also got a young man, Trey Campbell, out of Toronto that came in early, moved here end of last November and been here all winter long working out. So we got some explosive kids we're going to feed the rock to.
Shane, you mentioned there a second ago about the offensive and defensive lines. When I talk to coaches across junior football and university football, that's where they say their biggest challenges in terms of development and in terms of recruiting. But you were sounding pretty enthusiastic about what you have. Tell me about it.
Potentially, we have 5 kids on our offensive line that have either signed or were at CIS. Just on the offensive line alone, we'll average 6'4.5", 6'5" across the board. You got Armin, Kyle, Tyson Thompson. We just got from Bishops. He's 6'5", 280. You got Connor Bryan at center. And so we're pretty stacked on the line. We got tall, lean kids, and then you got Jake 6'11".
Just got an invite to the BC Lions E camp.
He's at the BC Lions E camp. We had 4 kids go to the E camp, 2 D linemen, 2 O linemen. So that's quite that's representative of the numbers right there. On the defensive line, Sean Robinson in from the NAU conference. He had 11 sacks there last year. You've got James Bradley. We just picked up another young man from Bishops, Jeremy Drew, and he's a freak nose tackle. Freak. Bench press 36 times at 225. And then you got Jorge, who was the other DN that was just at the BC Lions camp. So we're deep there. Then we picked up Connor Whitney, who's 6'5", 250 DN. So we're very deep there and we're very athletic.
Yeah, up front's the strength of our program this year, both sides of the ball.
Guys, I have to ask you about what the effect is of a CIS exhibition game coming to town with the Vanier Cup champion UBC Thunderbirds and the Manitoba Bisons, who have done a great job of recruiting out of the BCFC for years now. How do the Westshore Rebels plan to capitalize on that?
We love it. I mean, again, it's another showing sign that football here on the island is growing. You know, both those coaches and those programs wanted to come here. We got a fan base excited to show up. You know, we're gonna have their big game Friday night. We're gonna make kind of a homecoming alumni weekend. We got a big game the next day, Saturday. We're doing package ticket deals for both those to fill up both those events. We're also a transitional program. I mean, we are good at what we do, developing athletes. We want to be a program the kids come in, they get early playing time, they get held to a high standard. Shane builds beast, he really does. And then, so the fact that UBC and Manitoba and all the rest are going to be picking our roster, we like that. We want to help our kids really prepare. So when they go on year 2, year 3 on the CIS roster, they're ready to play. I mean, they have the authentic confidence and the body type to demand instant playing time.
I know you guys are focused on coaching and X's and O's, but behind the scenes, Westshore has made a real jump ahead in terms of how they've organized themselves as a business. Talk to me about the changes that have gone on there behind the scenes in terms of the support that you have and the focus that they have on marketing.
Yeah, we had a great board. It's a bunch of moms that just refused to let this program die, and if it weren't for them, we would not be here. I wouldn't be here. Shane wouldn't be here. The program probably wouldn't be in existence right now. They kept it going, and they got it. They grew it, and then now this year we've had some people, some really strong business acumen, some leaders in the community. Doug Kobayashi is our new president. He's also our Westshore Chamber of Commerce president. Jim Tenov just did our fundraiser scholarship gala. He's former president of the Victoria Rotary Club. So we've just, and several others have really stepped in. Jason Sperling does a very, very good job on our media side of things. And us coaches, we're very proud of our program, so we're banging the drum loudly ourselves, as well our kids. We're building a tribe here, and so we're pushing that brand. We have a family that's enjoys competing together, enjoys working together, and everybody's happy to talk about that experience.
Well, guys, I appreciate you taking the time out, and best of luck in the season coming up ahead.
Thanks, Jim.
Thank you, sir.